All right, Justin Centanni.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have you ever followed a theme park before at all of your various interview?
No, but she walked in here with
situations?
3 little goodie bags and then walked out of here with one, and I'm a little disappointed here.
Let's see.
I thought I had gotten here at just the right time.
Let's see. You take this to the Centanni.
I
just gave you your first ornament of the season.
I don't need any more Christmas ornaments at my house.
You could hang that up in your car. How about that? On the rearview mirror.
Oh yeah, right next to my pine tree that's hanging from the rearview mirror.
That's what I'm saying. You got green and you got red. How much more festive can it get? Do you need a gold bow?
No, everybody's going to know it's a party when I'm driving down the street.
That's right.
It's a little red disco ball.
It's you driving down the street, right?
So I have to say, I'm a bit ashamed to say last night was my second school board meeting since moving back to Lafayette, and the last one I went to was just as you were taking your seat, getting comfortable, and kind of seeing how things were. Last night, big meeting, special meeting, especially in regards to schools of choice, now known as
Magnet Academies.
Magnet Academies.
That's correct.
The handbook has been changed.
The handbook has been changed
for that.
Yeah. And sent back to the committee that first proposed these changes.
Okay. So, I got there a little bit late. I was telling Bernie there were people waiting and watching and listening in the hall outside the boardroom, and I asked, I got there, I said, is it full in there? And she said, it's pretty full. I just have to leave soon, so I don't want to walk over people. So now I know where I'm going, all right? So I go in, and it was really full. A lot of really passionate people, from administrators to parents to teachers, which I think is good because it shows that people care a bit.
It's great.
People were really there. Kind of the meat and potatoes of the whole thing was this sibling priority in the schools of choice, now called Magnet Academies.
Yeah, so it was great to have all the parents, because what it showed was we have a lot of schools in the parish that have parents who are invested, principals who are invested. They love their schools. They do a great job. And anytime you want to propose any kind of change, then they're naturally going to be very concerned and want to be able to give input. And it was great to have them there last night. Now, the sibling priority, just as a very brief recap, these Magnet Academies, it's going to take me a day or two to get used to it as well.
We'll give you at least till noon today to accept it.
When you enter, there is an application process, and people are chosen random. The students are chosen randomly from the application pool. One of the things that we have done in the past is if you have a sibling currently at the school, at the elementary level, then you will get what we call priority admission. You will basically be admitted first before we start pulling applicants randomly.
Yeah.
And that's a logistical thing for the parents, because you put 2 kids at 2 different schools. It's very difficult, especially when the schools start at the same time. And then it's also, in my opinion, an educational outcome thing where you have families and parents that are invested in one particular school over a number of years. They get to know the teachers, they get to know the principals, and I think that leads to better educational outcomes for the children. And I think that's why it's a really valuable piece to what we were discussing last night.
Which exists if you go to a school in your neighborhood anyway. If it's not a Magnet Academy, but it's just, hey, you live on Broadmoor and you go to Broadmoor, you're going to be invested because that's just where your kids go.
Well, sure. And every private school and charter school, the other schools in the parish that have applications, every charter and private school has a sibling preference as well.
So the other side of the coin, when we talk about the big F word, and that's fair.
Fair.
Is it fair to take these siblings and take the seats that they're going to fill off the top? Whether it's, we've heard different statistics. Is it 30% siblings? Is it 20% siblings?
One of the things that we did last night, and I was really happy with this decision to send it back to the committee for further development, was we weren't confident in the numbers that had been presented thus far. And so we sent it back with the direction. We didn't just send it back. We sent it back with the direction that they are to wait until the principals at the schools verify their enrollment and application data so that we can know what the number is.
And pretty much certify.
Before making such an important decision.
I was about to say, because you might be making a change to something that's not even really a problem.
That's right.
What if you find out that over the last 5 years, we're talking about 10% of the seats?
Not an issue.
Then it isn't so
not
much
an issue. And Dr. Chassaw makes a fair point about fairness, and it all depends on what you think the lottery process should be. Do you think we should put everybody in the hat and pull names? Because boy, that's fair.
That is the most fair.
That is I mean, you can't argue about the objectivity of that process. But at the same time, is our goal to produce the best educational outcomes we can for the children of this parish? And that's my goal.
Yes.
And I personally believe that having the families involved and together at the school produces a better educational outcome than splitting them up. And I'm willing to sacrifice some measure of objectivity to achieve that. So, and even if it's not a big part of the population, then there shouldn't really be a problem.
What about this caveat? You know, we all love the big ifs. What if the sibling priority was focused in on and only extended to the immersion students? Because I know a lot of the teachers who were there, the French immersion teachers, said, look, just seeing, and there were a couple Spanish immersion too, I think, but just saying, hey, it's nice for the siblings to be able to speak in this language when they're at home too, and we don't speak French. What is that percentage? I mean, if you were to just say, okay, not the entire Magnet Academy, the whole student population, but just those involved in the language immersion.
I think extending it to just immersion, that's an additional benefit of the sibling priority,
Gotcha.
right? And it's an educational benefit again.
Yeah.
It's an educational benefit to having the sibling priority.
Wow.
I mean, look, if we're talking about if it's 85% of the kids at some school are siblings, then we need to take a look at this.
Then there's a problem because you only have 15% of
that's right.
that can get into.
And that may be too much of a sacrifice to the integrity of the program. But if we're talking about 10%, 15%, 20%, then this seems like it might be a solution in search of a problem.
Okay. All right. You have a cool event coming up tonight.
I do.
With the LEF.
I do. I'm going to be
Education Foundation.
I'm going to be at Vermilionville tonight with your own DJ Digital.
You know, DJ Digital has been in the news a lot this week. He got that Acadiana Award, Acadiana Profiles Award this week. Well, and now we're trying to see if he's smarter than a fifth grader.
That's right.
Are we talking about real fifth graders?
Real fifth graders.
Okay.
Real fifth graders. So it'll be me, DJ Digital, Tanya Boldenball, and E.B. Brooks, the executive director of the Horse Farm. And we're going to be playing Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And so you'll have a nice story about Digital tomorrow about how he is not smarter than a fifth grader.
It's questionable.
Or me.
It's questionable. All right. Well, next time you come in, look, Moody Gardens brought this great bag. It's so nice. Next time you come in, I expect like some number 2 pencils and maybe some Iberia Bank deposit slips.
I'm gonna
like that.
I'm gonna go put this ornament on eBay.
There you go.
Yeah. The shipping will cost more than you sell it for. I can assure you that.
Hilarious.
Hey, Justin Centanni, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Answering questions as always. We'll continue to follow this, of course, as the committee takes back control of this and some other issues with the handbook, and we hear more from the superintendent based on what the actual numbers are. Is this a problem, or are we trying to fix something that just ain't broken, guys? KPEL News Time, 6:47. Your KPEL topic train is next.